Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk about how I do my marketing. These are my little flyer packets. And what I like to do is go by to real estate offices, apartment buildings, complexes, high rises, especially storage units, senior living facilities, anywhere that I feel they could technically use junk removal on a more regular basis. The good thing about realtor offices is that they're dealing with homes where people have closings, people move in and the previous tenant left stuff in there, or maybe someone got evicted and they need to do a full clean out. Maybe somebody passed, unfortunately, and they need to remove their items after what the family takes away from it. These are all things that realtors deal with on a daily basis. Realtors are very network based. One office can hold 15, 20 realtors in it, and they refer each other out to other businesses. So I think it's super important to market to them. Any apartment buildings or high rises, they're mainly the best to market to because they don't have the bulk dumpsters like a lot of complexes do. And if they do, they only allow a certain amount because at some point they're going to overflow when you have 150, 200 tenants in a building and you only have 1 to 2 dumpsters. And a lot of times, especially in downtown areas, the city will charge them. So they don't like to allow for bulk dumping. So I like to go there and market my cards to them and say, I can help with their residents when they have bulk pickup, when you do move-ins and move-outs, or as a building, if your dumpsters are overflowed with mattresses and couches, things that they can't handle on their own, or maybe you could set up a vendor with them and they'll call you whenever they have an eviction, or if someone moves out and leaves all their crap behind, you can go by and pick it up. I've done that with a few buildings in one of our major cities down here in South Florida, and it's kept me busy throughout the year because these high rises have high turnover rate. They're constantly. I don't have that nice of a car, but people like to look at me a lot. I forgot what I was saying. High rises. Do market to them. You can also ask about bidding. Bidding is basically where every quarter they'll kind of review the vendors they have. And what you can do is you can kind of place yourself within their field. Let's say you're competing for other junk removal companies. You can kind of rank with them on pricing, and they're like any other business. They're going to go with the people who are not only efficient and meet their insurance standards, but people who are cheaper or a little bit more reliable. So you can always do that. I also like going to senior living facilities. Either people, I don't know if you've ever been to a senior living, but I've been a mover for a handful of years. And I'd say 9 out of 10 times when people move in, they have too much stuff for the space. It's not them, it's the space. Senior living facilities are kind of set up like dorm rooms. They're very studio based in a way as far as their spacing goes. Their bedroom is usually pretty spacious for the most part because most residents there have twin beds. Very few will have a queen, and it's because the twins are usually the hospital related beds. The living space isn't that big, so a lot of times they have too much stuff. And the senior living facility, they're not going to be able to take away everything. So that's kind of something to keep in mind there. Another thing is you can also look into any restoration companies you have near you. People who deal with mold, or if they have a flood or something inside their building and everything gets ruined, there's going to be people that go in to help clean it up to kind of limit the amount of damage done to the flooring and the walls and the foundation. But there's a good chance that everyone's stuff just got ruined, so they may need someone to come take it out. And most companies have a way of doing that themselves, but not all. I personally would go after the small businesses and more private firms. Those are the people who, they don't have the available funds to be able to handle all these things on their own. And they may be more open to kind of hiring out third-party services to help with these things. But this is something that I try to do about every few months or so. I'll just kind of go out. I'll say, hi, my name is Chris with Clutter Reduction. I was wondering if I could drop off these flyers and cards to you. If you are able to use them, for your residents or your clients, I can do furniture, appliance removal, I can do clean outs. I'm very flexible. I'm a small business. I have the availability and I'm very reliable, and your business with me is very much appreciated. And I like to return that respect, something along those lines. And just try to kind of network it with everyone. Something I find useful is once you get work with one real estate office, go to the next city and say, hi, I did some work for so-and-so realtor at so-and-so branch over in the other city, and they recommended that I come here and offer my service to you as well. At least this way they know, okay, so he's been around, he's actually helped other people that we may know. Maybe he's a little bit more reliable and trustworthy. So just food for thought. I get these are matted, a little thicker because I didn't want them breaking down. I got these off Vistaprint. I think I got like 1,000 for, I don't know, $80-$90. Same thing with the cards. You get 1,000 cards for like $75. But you don't have to get the fancier kind. You can print them out yourself. You go to places like the library. They're a little bit cheaper per copy. Or if you just want to go in bulk, maybe you don't have a city library near you, you can go to an Office Depot, Staples, Office Max, whatever you have in your city. But I find these to be pretty helpful. I've definitely gotten enough work to where it pays for my time and the materials and the mileage and everything time and time again. As far as mileage goes, of course, if you're using a personal vehicle or your work vehicle, however you track your stuff, there's apps you can use. I like to use a little book here. I get this a staple. It's like $10-$11. Fill it all out appropriately. Give it to my tax accountant. He takes care of the rest. But I think it's like 55 cents a mile is the tax deduction, unless they've changed it. But it's do it on your free time. If you work a part-time job, do it after work. If you're within that area, bring a change of clothes with you. I have these little. I make up like 15, 20 of these things, and I'll plan out ahead of time where I plan on going. So like right now, I'm in Boca Raton, South Florida, and I'm about to go to 16 different real estate offices, or at least as much as I can by 5 o'clock before they close. And then I'll stop at storage units along the way. And storage units is another one too. A lot of the franchise places like Public Storage and CubeSmart and Life Storage, they often have vendors already set up. Usually they're the bigger guys, of course, like 1-800-GOT-JUNK or JDog or something. And even if they do, though, a lot of times they're nice about it, and you can ask, well, can I go leave some cards on your bulletin board? And you just go thumbtack 3, 4, 5 cards. You'd be surprised the people that do still go look at those, and oftentimes, they'd be like, oh, I could use that. All right, I've done a few move labors in storage units before, and 2 of them ended up being real estate agents that I went to their office and left my cards there, and then I got a job from it. It's in their networking. So it's like passive income in a way. It's like you're investing in one thing, and then that's investing to other things, and all of a sudden you're getting a return for it. So it works out. I also find that if you go to, I'm in a parking lot right now. There's a lot of people around here. I also find that if you are at storage units, hand out your card randomly to everyone that goes by you. Just say, hi, I'm so-and-so, a clutter reduction, junk removal. Here's a card if you need my services in the future. Maybe even throw an incentive in there. Say, if you end up needing to call me, let me know you found me at the storage unit. I'll give you 10% off your job. It's a little bit more of an incentive versus just, oh yeah, this guy gave me a card. I don't know if we're going to need it though. Because you got to keep in mind how many people are moving, especially with the current housing market. So just a few tips. This is how I like to do marketing. If you have a different way, comment it down below. Let other people see it. Spread the knowledge. We're all just trying to be like the bigger guys. Thank you.